In this video, we'll be looking at the various what-ifs in the Ocarina of Time, and exploring glitches, to hopefully make some new discoveries. For this video, the only cheat we'll turn on is the levitating cheat. Ever wonder, what if you could boil Link alive? Wonder no more. There is a big pot over the fire in the Gerudo Fortress. I toss Link inside it, to see what would happen. And lo and behold, Link is being cooked. Little by little, his hearts deplete, until he unfortunately dies.
Is it possible to fight the first boss of Ocarina of Time as adult Link? Yes, but with a little trickery. Since the mouth of the Great Deku Tree is closed, we'll have to find another way in. If you levitated all the way to the top of the Deku Tree, you'll see that he is hollow on the inside. If you position yourself in the right spot, you'll go right into his mouth. That's the loading zone for the first dungeon. And it works just as well as you'd imagine. The area loads, and we make our way inside the Great Deku Tree. I try to see if the adult Link weighs enough to pierce through the web. And he does not. I throw a dense fire spell, the web burns, and I fall through. Before long, I manage to get to the first boss of the game. Surprisingly enough, with all the adult weapons that I have at my disposal, I thought that I would have won the fight with one hit. Apparently, that was not the case. Had to take my time in defeating Gohma. The cutscene plays out as it would normally, with the only difference being that adult Link replaced the younger one. Going into the Dodongo's cavern, I've always wondered if you bomb the fish's nose, will it turn red, like his eyes do? The answer is no. I proceed farther into the cavern, to see if I could beat it as adult Link. I managed to levitate over that block, and push it down into place. I'm making my way downtown, to the boss, and everything seems to be going smoothly. I reach the boss, and without much cheating, I manage to beat him. So, to answer everyone's question, is it possible to beat Dodongo's cavern as adult Link? The answer is yes. Outside, we are treating to a cutscene, where Link is apparently whacked on the head, and knocked out cold. This is a life lesson to us all: do not cheat in life. Link wakes up from his power nap, because, he has to get the Goron hug. When he sees there are two more Gorons, he runs away. Apparently, he can't handle two Gorons. #weakling. Ever since I was a kid, I wondered why were there so many red ices around? And what would happen if we melted them all? Could we get the Triforce? After spending a grueling 10 minutes of melting away all the red ice in this cavern, I can honestly say that my younger self was not all that smart, and you get absolutely nothing for melting all that ice away.
Using only the levitating cheat, I wanted to see how far into the adult Link temples you can go, playing as young Link. You can only go so far, until you need to use the item that is specific to that temple, to progress farther. At which point you are out of luck. Since you get the hover boots in the Shadow Temple, the levitating cheat can substitute its effects, giving us our only chance to finish an adult temple as a kid. In the Shadow Temple, I begin to abuse the levitating cheat to fly through most of the temple with ease. The only part that gives me trouble is the boss, Bongo Bongo. Since young Link's weapons are not as strong as adult Link's, I end up taking twice as long to defeat Bongo Bongo. And in the end, I beat him, get my prize. But, instead of going to the sages, to be given my medal, I just get sent to the front of the temple. Maybe the game wasn't programmed to feature young Link in the scenes where you get the medallions. In the Forest Temple, you can make it all the way to the ghosts in the painting, before you progress is halted. To go any farther, you would need the bow and arrow to hit the ghosts in the paintings, which young Link cannot use. in the fire temple, you can make it pretty far until you reach the room with the hammer or chest. From here on out, your adventure in the fire temple is over. Since you don't have the hammer to progress, you can't knock down the beam, you can't move to the lower level, and won't be able to enter the boss, and won't be able to defeat him. Young Link won't even be able to reach the water temple, because he can't use the hook shot. And he can't even dive far enough to reach the entrance door. Here we are at the Spirit Temple. Once a wise man said, "Why work harder, when you can work smarter?" So, the first thing I do is jump up and get both of the treasures the temple has to offer. I go inside the temple to explore a bit, knowing that I won't get far, because to get to the doors of the final boss I would need the mirror shield. And young Link, once again, cannot equip that specific item. Here we see what would happen if you jump over Mido. He still blocks your path. This stone is kind of hard to get to. It just says that, one Kokiri left the forest, and that he is still alive. This guy just disappears. Here I use the levitating cheat to see if Ganon's castle was reachable, before you free the 7 sages. Surprising enough, you can enter the load zone of the castle before beating all the temples. In Ganon's castle, there are 2 bridges. One bridge leads to the top of Ganon's tower, and the other bridge used in the escape sequence, after you've defeated Ganondorf. I make my way around to the second bridge, to see what will happen, and where it will take me. I try the exit, and get nowhere. I turn around to enter the tower from the other end, but it seems that the developers intended for this doorway to only be used at the escape sequence. Here is a look from the top of the tower. I tried to skip the cutscene by just falling off of the castle, but that did not work. I also tried to escape from the castle by levitating, until I reached the load point to the market. That didn't work. I kept on respawning. And here we are at the second bridge. I tried jumping off to see if I was still able to enter any of the other rooms. Strangely enough, all the doors are missing, but you cannot enter anything. And at a certain point you just fall through the ground. I tried looking for that little cave in the wall, that you need the lens of truth to see. I just couldn't find it. Guess the programmers left it out. I make it outside, in one piece. Followed by the stalker lady who I just saved from Ganon. The castle crumbles right in front of me. That's what you get for ordering your castle from Wish.com. Ganon should have known better. I, being the selfless romantic hero that I am, I try to flee and leave Zelda behind. It seems that the ground towards the exit is not solid, and I fall through. Seeing that the only way out is to fight Ganon, I step forward. Ganon seems to be upset, seeing as how I just tried to kill him. So he charges right at me, avoiding Zelda altogether, proving to the world, once and for all, that he is a sexist pig. The time has come for me to deliver the final blow to Ganon, and as I approach him, he gently whispers in my ears that his dying wish is to take a selfie with me. I stand beside him, pose for my selfie, and tell him that I will always cherish the moments we've spent together. He rises to celebrate, before the Killjoy sages put an end to our little bonding moment. Visibly upset, but still the bigger man, Ganondorf says a few kind words, wishing me, Zelda, and the sages the best before departing to the other realm. Zelda, obviously jealous that you are having a bromance with Ganon, pulls you aside to have a talk. Link is having none of it, and decides to just walk away, leaving Zelda there all by herself. The evil Zelda then casts a spell on Link, forcing him to go back in time to relive his youth. No witchcraft, black magic, or voodoo can keep Link apart from his one true love. And finally the legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time ends, with Link going back to the very exact place that his eyes first landed on Ganondorf. To hopefully see him, once more. When, who should Link see there instead? No one other than that evil witch Zelda. Again, trying to stand in the way of you and Ganon. I can't take this. Cut. Cut. Roll the credits. End the game. This is over. Hashtag, down with Zelda. Hashtag, not my princess.